Welcome back, everybody. So, Lord of the Rings Episode 7. What do I think about it? Do I think the show is good so far? And why I haven't made videos on it. So I made one video so far, and that was on episode 1 and 2. And then I pretty much dropped it. So I've been watching all the episodes and I'm caught up until episode 7. So in this video, I'm going to talk about primarily episode 7 and why I think the show is as bad as it is, wasted potential. So, episode 7. So I'm going to do a little bit of backtracking to cover some of the basics of episodes 3 up until 6, leading to 7. So I have 2 episodes that I think were the best to date, and I believe it starts at episode 3. Just to preface, I'm likely not going to be referring to most of the characters by their name. I pretty much know 3 of the characters' names, just because they have the most exposure, and either they've hit the best with me or they've hit the worst with me, like Galactits, Galadriel. So the way I'm going to refer to the characters is by their description. Like, my 3 favorite characters are still Black Elf, Doogie Howser, Elf, and Harry Dwarf. And that's what I'm going to keep on referring to them until the show gives me further reason to invest memory to their names, because there's a lot of characters in this. Throughout the show, there's a lot of characters. I think Black Elf's name is Arendir. Yes. If you look at that, that is his name, Arendir. Doogie Howser, Elf, is Elrond. Gladtits, Galadriel's name.
What is your name?
Galadriel of the Noldor, daughter of the Golden House of Finarfin, commander.
It doesn't matter what your name is!
So I'll try and keep their names up in here throughout the video. My 2 favorite episodes are so far episode 3, and that's with Elrond, Arendir, Black Elf. So they're captured by the Uruk-hai. They're laboring and things like this. So I thought that episode in general was very, very well done. There's not a lot of focus on Galadriel in that episode, so generally it is reason enough for being my favorite episode. So generally throughout the show so far, even up until episode 7, visuals of the show are top notch. So when they throw at you this extremely cartoony Crash Bandicoot looking warg fighting Arendir in the Uruk-hai encampment, that very much threw things off. But apart from that, the rest of the episode was very, very well done. And then the next favorite episode that I have is episode 6, and that was mostly for the battles. Does the episode have flaws? Absolutely. It has some really, really dumb flaws, like how... So I'm not talking too much about the episodes leading to episode 7. This video was mostly made for episode 7. So episode 7 just aired. So every Friday we have a new episode. And this season we have one more episode to go. So once we finish off with episode 8, that'll be it for the first season. I really feel it's really, really short for a first season. Like, a lot of the show feels very, very rushed. So the end of episode 6. So they won the battle against the Uruk-hai, And then we have Galactitz interrogating Adar. And Adar, even though he is a villain, you could kind of understand why he's doing what he's doing, because he wants his people to live and prosper, of course. But at the same time, it's at the cost of somebody else, somebody else, right? So then we have Gladtitz pretty much telling him she's going to wipe out his race from planet Earth. You know, very lovable character, right? Very loving character, very reminiscent of leftist activists who say, you know, they're for the just, they're for the good. Meanwhile, they talk about beating up people, killing people that are opposing. Oh, I'm anti-fascist and we will destroy fascists. Death to fascists. By the way, I'm not just talking out of my ass. Here are some quotes from anti-fascists.
This is not harassment or anything like that because Avon is a public servant. He works with the American government. If you check out his account, you will see some of the most Orwellian authoritarian points of view and frighteningly violent calls to action. This is scary stuff because he helps make changes that affect us all.
Very well representing those people up until this point. So anyways, they are at the camp. Everyone's rejoicing in their victory. And then we have the volcano blowing up, erupting, and everybody just stands there watching the explosion happen. You see boulders of molten ash crashing into the earth, destroying things, and of course the episode ends with Gladtitz getting up and walking directly into an oncoming explosion. And all I thought was, of course, she is going to walk into it and she's going to come out intact.
Fuck you.
And yep, I was right. So the episode opens up and we see Galadriel getting up, and she's a little bit ashy, and that's about it. You see the village around her on fire. So she's taking in the damage that the volcanic eruption has caused. There's literally a guy in front of her crawling on fire, and she just looks at him, maybe with some pity, but doesn't do F all to help the guy out. But then she catches Theo. Is his name Theo? Anyways, something along the lines of Theo. You can do the research yourself. I don't care. So she goes and helps him out. And then throughout the beginning, like, we keep on getting shots of people walking from miles, the whole area completely devastated, burned to ashes. And we are expected to believe that people can survive this. You can't. And how do we know that people can't survive a catastrophic explosion like that in that radius? What the hell happened to Pompeii? An entire island completely destroyed, no survivors. Yet Galactitz and a bunch of other people somehow survived it, even though everything is burned to the ground. And then we get to the captain, the older guy. Again, don't know his name, don't care, but here's a picture of him. So he's, I'm trying to figure out what happened, because his son is alive in the beginning of the episode. I don't know, did I doze off and I missed something? Can you guys tell me what happened to his son? Because apparently his son is dead. No idea what happened with that. We see his son lifting up an obstruction to help out another person that was trapped underneath, and then the corpse of one of his friends rolls under with that kind of expression. So I'm trying to figure out what happened to his son, because I don't remember seeing anything happening to his son. Like, maybe he got hit by something that I didn't catch. because we have the queen. For whatever reason, the queen, I don't know why she's on the battlefield, why she went with him to begin with, doesn't really make any sense. So something happens and she ends up getting blinded. I could return to the show and rewatch the beginning of it, but I don't want to. I don't want to. So I'm just accepting that his son is quote unquote dead. And I think what happened with the queen, she was blinded by Ash, and that would be the least of her concerns, but she is blinded by Ash, and she doesn't want the older captain leading on that he understands that she's blind, so they ride out. And there was a scene where it's the queen. I like the queen. I don't have any issue with the queen's character apart from the choice of joining the army to go help out the people. So we have the scene with Galadriel, the queen, and the captain, and they talk about they're going to leave, but they're going to come back. And then we get the shot of the captain crying. I'm not sure what he was crying about. I'm almost certain, like, the only thing that I could think of that he's crying is that they're leaving and he has to leave the body of his son behind. That's the only thing that I could figure why he would be crying. I can't imagine that he's crying because his queen is blind and he feels pity for her, and because the queen told Galadriel not to pity her, he turns his back to her. She wouldn't be able to see you anyway, bro. She wouldn't be able to see you anyway. So I'm going to choose to believe that he was crying because he has to abandon the body of the corpse of his son and return home. And then we have the Horfoots. I thought they were called Half-Foots. I'm not a lore expert. I just liked the original Lord of the Rings movies. Hobbits were comme ci, comme ça, but I'm not a lore expert. So I'm just reacting and reviewing these as a casual viewer of the show. I'm still reviewing the show as unbiasedly as I can. I think I'm doing a pretty good job so far. Hit the like and freaking subscribe. So the Horfoots, I really hate these things. Yeah, I really hate these people because they're not good. They're not good creatures. They're not good people. They're not good whatever you want to call them. It bothered me in the beginning, but it didn't really sink in until actually this episode, episode 7. So they're migrating to go from one land to another because it's their tradition and bountiful harvest and whatever. Probably the grass is greener on that other side. So the father of one of the Horfoots, the girls, injures his foot, and most cultures and most people, what they'll do is they'll take that person and carry them and assist them in any way they can to make sure that they get to the next destination. But the Horfoots, for whatever reason, they decide if somebody is injured, if somebody is incapable, incapacitated, too bad, so sad, you cannot hold us back. You are traveling at the back of the bus. And no one is going to be helping you. I don't understand that logic. It's really freaking stupid, and it's a very, very heartless mentality, especially when you're trying to portray these people as very loving and caring, even though they're carefree. They're supposed to be loving and caring. And then what does the father say in the episode 7? We do best what others can't, and that's stick together. No, you guys don't stick together, because the moment one of you guys is injured, you're fucked. You're at the back. You're on your own. That is not taking care of each other. And then we have the stranger, where they asked to help revive a tree. He did his best, and then we had one of the Horfoots running up, and then of course a branch, not of the doing of the stranger, of course, a branch falls, and oh, everyone's terrified of him. Oh, he's evil. He tried to kill the kid. No. The kid ran. A branch fell. nothing to do with the stranger. The stranger did what you asked, which was to help you, and you guys profited from it after you kicked him out with a bountiful harvest in the morning. Horrible, horrible creatures. You guys don't stick together. And then they cast out the stranger. So then we have the whole storyline with my other two favorite characters, Doogie Howser Elf and Harry Elf. No, Harry Dwarf. I like those guys. They have a good dynamic. But I started getting a little bit ticked off with Durbin in this episode because in almost every episode he's in, he's got to have some emotional minute. We don't need to see that in every single episode that you're in. We understand you're close with this guy, you're friends and whatever, but we know you guys have an emotional connection, and you have an emotional connection to his people because you want to help them. We don't have to see you crying in every single episode that you're in. You're a great character, we like you, leave it at that. Every other episode you could have a cry moment. So the king takes away his crown as the prince because he wanted to help the elves, and he goes against the wishes of his father. And him and Doogie Howser Elf dig a hole, and they discover that there's a lot more raritanium, vibranium, mithril in the cave than they realized. So the king refuses to look in the thing. I'm sure he actually knows how much there is, and it's just his greed that doesn't want to help out. The dwarves are a greedy species, by the way, from what I understand from people who do know the lore. So the king kicks out Doogie Howser Elf, dethrones Durbin, and then we have the scene with Durbin sitting with his wife Disa. I like Disa, she's cool. I no issues with her. I really hate how people used to make thumbnails for the videos with her having a full beard. Bro, she just has a little bit of sideburn. I know girls who actually have that. Nothing wrong with that. Some girls, some women, unfortunately have facial hair. Biological women, and they have an unfortunate amount of facial hair compared to other women. So we have the scene with her, telling Durbin that one day they will be the rulers and they will have the kingdom to themselves and things like this. So he tosses the shard of mithril, and at the end of the table they have the darkened leaf that gets cured by the mithril somehow, and that's when they decide we're going to help the elves. So the episode ends with the king of the dwarves, Durbin the Sixth, or Durbin the whatever he is. So he takes the leaf and tosses it into the hole, and they start sealing the mithril cave. So then we see the leaf falling, and the leaf wakes the Balrog up. Because the Balrogs are known to be very, very sensitive sleepers. The slightest sound, slightest vibration will wake them up, I guess. So next week we have the season finale, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be them battling the Balrog. I think it's way, way, way too early to introduce a character like that, but hey, we'll see. So yeah, I do think the show looks amazing, but it is very, very hastily written. Galadriel is a very unlikable character to this date. When you compare her to all the other female characters like the Queen is likable, the Black Elf's wife or girlfriend, whatever, she proved herself. I know a lot of people still have an issue with her, for some reason being thrust as the leader of the village of those people. But hey, look, she took down an orc, right? She didn't have a flawless victory like Galadriel would have. So it proved to us that she is more capable than other villagers of taking care of herself and of taking care of her people. So I don't have any issue with her being the leader for that group. She's also not leading the group by herself. Arendir, it's Arendir, right? The Black Dwarf? Arendir is by her side and they do take decisions together. So she's not ultimate girl boss, that's Galadriel. So I've pretty much been watching the show. I didn't really want to do reviews on it because of how toxic both sides of the equation are, especially the cast. I really don't like what the cast has done post release of the show, but there's a lot. The show it still has a lot of potential. They just have to stop writing like assholes. They have a lot of things that they can work with. So maybe I'll do another video for episode 8. Sorry guys that this video is so all over the place. I just really, there's a lot of things that are going on that I can't really discuss right now, but it's also reasons why I haven't been doing movie reviews like I was before. I don't have the focus to remember things that happen even in a movie that I just watched. I do have, my friend Brendan loves the movies. I told him I was going to do a review for what's it called, the Town That Dreaded Sundown. I will do it, but I can't right now, and that's also why I haven't really been appearing in that many videos anymore. Things will get worse before they get better. I'm just gonna say that. I do feel I have a battle that I don't know if I'm going to be able to win or overcome. It is what I've been dealing with for the past couple of years. I've improved, and then I can't talk about it, but something happened. There was a misunderstanding between one of the parties that completely anyways, so thank you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video at least. If you did, please hit that like button. Now more than ever, guys, it's really important if you guys want to support the channel by leaving likes and leaving comments and sharing the videos. YouTube is something that I want to continue doing, and if I could make this a career, I would freaking love it. Even though I might not enjoy making type of videos like this, I do them because I know you guys enjoy them, and it helps with my mental health recovery as well. That's what I was talking about before. So please hit the subscribe button, come back for more videos. I have a lot I want to do. So thank you very much for giving me a few minutes of your time. Hope you guys have a good week. Jigga Vega out.